Mr. Tropical Triple M. And from the Westbury School District, Manuel Ramirez. I'll give him a bigger round of applause. Yeah, there you go. Good evening. So you can hear me, right? My name is Robert Troiano. I am a councilman for the town of North Hempstead, and I'm pleased to welcome all of you to the town's 2023 Hispanic Heritage Celebration and to Yes We Can. If this is your first visit to Yes We Can, we invite you to take a look around. There is this room where we hold wedding showers, baby showers, weddings even, birthday parties, and this is open to the community to come to. We also have, as you saw when you came in, two full-size, NBA-size basketball courts. If you go downstairs, you'll find that we have a fitness center, and we also have on the first floor, believe it or not, now wait for it, a TV studio. Don't you want one of those in your basement? So welcome to Yes We Can. Yes We Can is the name that reflects the spirit of the Westbury community. Yes We Can was the dream and an aspiration for generations. 60 years ago, Marianne, 60 years ago, when I was only 1 year old, she said she wasn't even born yet. So when I was a little boy, we wanted to have a community center. And we did have one for a minute. It was about half the size of this room, but it couldn't be maintained. It took until the year 2012 for the Yes We Can Community Center to finally be built. And that speaks again to the spirit of the Westbury community, that it waited and fought for 60 years until it had one, Yes We Can. I think it's also fitting because it reflects the spirit of the Hispanic American community in America. There are, just to get to this country, for many of the residents of Westbury and other parts of North Hempstead, just getting to this country is faced with obstacles and challenges. And then being in the country has obstacles and challenges also, something as simple as language, which is even true tonight. But what we're finding in this community and throughout the town and throughout the country, that Hispanic Americans are up to the challenge and are fighting and succeeding. And so therefore, Yes We Can is very suitable to the entire community and what we're celebrating tonight. I am joined tonight by Supervisor Jen DeSena, Council members Veronica Lurvy, Marianne Del Monte, okay. Did I say my name is Robert Troiano? Marianne, that's the first time I've ever won, so I'm sorry. But we're not going to ask for Seal Albino because we know they'll get a standing ovation. Dennis Walsh. Come on, we can do better than that for Dennis. Dennis Walsh! Come on, stand up for Dennis Walsh! And then we have my county legislator, Westbury's own. Okay. Westbury, I just lost complete control here. Okay, we'll have it your way. Councilman Peter Zuckerman. I'm going to have to call Peter up here and speak. All right, she's very insecure and shy, so give her a big round of applause. My legislator, Westbury's own, Sheila Bino. All right, wait a minute. Come. Ciela, please come up here. Please join me. Please join me. Now, I'm insecure too, all right? So, Robert Troiano! Ciela Bino! Thank you, Supervisor. And I'm on the town council with her, you know. So, some of you may know a great friend of our community for many years before she was elected to the Assembly, my friend, your friend, Gina Solitti. Gina, I'm not going to compete with you because it's too hard a competition. I want to also introduce my colleague on the Westbury School Board, Westbury's only Hispanic member of the school board, Pedro Quintanilla. How was my pronunciation? Pedro Quintanilla. Right. A little Italian there, right? I know. Okay, I got to work on that. We're also joined tonight from the Westbury School District, Dr. Roger Bloom. And to Roger's right is, again, Westbury's own, and I believe the first Hispanic deputy town clerk in the town of North Hempstead, Maggie Melito. And Maggie got here a little bit late, but when Mr. Ramirez does the cha-cha, Maggie will be right there. I also want to acknowledge that he's not in an elected position, but he's got a very important role in this community, and that is my friend Mateo Flores. That was pretty good, Mateo, but I think Ciela's got you beat. I'm not sure. But Mateo runs an organization. I think the right name is Westbury Soccer League or Westbury Youth Soccer, which has it's an example of progress by Hispanics. Mateo, who I've known for many years, was telling me just the other day, I didn't know how this organization started, but when he started it, Westbury Soccer was really nowhere. But since he's organized this, he's got a really large organization of youth, and how many championships have you won?
Well, in the last 2 years, about 6 championships. So we started with about 8 kids. Right now we have a little over 200 kids. Wow.
So Mateo is building a tradition of winning and success, but more than that, he's turning young people into men and women, and that's why we salute Mateo Flores for what he does in our community. Now, it's always a danger when you start naming people in the audience because you may forget somebody. So I'm at that point right now where I may forget somebody. But I do want to point out, and about a month ago I introduced him as the president of the PTA Council. That was not correct, but I'm still going to introduce him, although not as the president. The former president of the PTA Council, Renzalea. And because I'm so proud of the Westbury School District, I also want to acknowledge Dr. Cynthia Oriana and her son, Travis. Look, there's Travis. Now let's give Travis a really big round of applause. Okay, now I have difficulty with names, particularly names that are not American in origin. So Pastor, you will forgive me, from the Office of Minority Affairs, Emmanuel Assume? I couldn't have been that far off because he actually stood up. So if I was really wrong, he wouldn't have even known I was talking about. Okay, so tell me, who did I forget? the Executive Director and Deputy Parks Commissioner, Tyronza Murray, way in the back. I actually did not forget her, but since you were pointing to her, I was going to thank her, as well as Commissioner Kimberly Corcoran-Galante, Deputy Commissioner Julie Chin, and I want to say these three ladies, Kimberly, Julie, and Tyronza, are scary, because all I have to do is like think of something I want, and they've already done it. So I really want to thank you for all the help you gave in making today possible. Let me also thank some of our volunteers today from the Herricks, Floral Park, and New Hyde Park school districts. They've been helping out in all kinds of ways today since like 4 o'clock. And have they left now to go study, or they're getting some food, okay? Well, that's good. And then I just want to acknowledge all the support staff, that the cleaners and the custodians that helped to set up the room today. Thank you to all of you. So I think we've got an interesting and informative, entertaining. We've already heard from the band. We're going to hear more from them. They're going to play different forms, different styles of either Latin or Hispanic music, depending on which term you prefer. I actually spent a good deal of time in California, and in there we called our Hispanic population Chicano and Chicana. So if I say the term that's offensive to you, I apologize. Just blame it on my head and not my heart. But hopefully you know exactly what I mean. And then we've got some what I think are very heartwarming and inspiring stories from our honorees. Every one of them has overcome an obstacle and a challenge in order to open up their own business and be successful. And as I read through their bios, I was really moved and impressed by how much they've achieved. And many of them are new entrants into this country and were not born into this country, so we really understand the challenges that they had and really respect them for that. But even beyond that, beyond their own personal stories about conquering obstacles and achieving success, is that almost to a person, they've all passed that forward to somebody else. They've passed that on to another person, to an organization, to a group of people, by engaging in philanthropy. And not just for people in the town of North Hempstead, but also to people throughout the country. So you're going to hear a bit about that tonight, and I hope you'll be inspired and motivated to do some of that yourself if you're not already doing that. Now, I took a big risk tonight, and Kimberly Corcoran-Galante said, boy, I see Robert's Wall Street coming out of him, because I favor data and graphs. So I may lose you, but I'm going to do this anyway, okay? So the story of the Hispanic community in the United States is really, and Pedro's looking at me like, oh no, what's he going to do? What's he going to do? The story of the Hispanic rise, I should say, in this country is really an amazing one. I'm not sure that everybody in the country really understands. And I thought it was important to highlight that in some data that I found over the past couple of weeks. Yes, Seal, I'm going there, right? So here we have a chart that shows the percentage growth in number of bachelor degrees in the United States, in the Latino population, and in the non-Latino population. For the United States in its entirety, the average growth rate for the last 10, or the years from 2011 to 2021, is 3%. For the non-Latino community, it's just under that at 3%. For the Latino community, though, it's double the US average at over 6% and nearly 7%. That's a story I think that not too many people really understand and appreciate that. And Pedro is a school board member. I know that that's what you're striving for, and you're happy to see information like that. That has led to the largest percentage growth in income over that same 10-year period for the Latino community compared to the US and to the non-Latino community. In the US, the average growth rate in income is 2%, and in the Latino community, it's nearly 4%, nearly double. What has that led to? Annual growth rate in home ownership that in the Latino community far exceeds the rest of the United States. In the red bar, that's the growth in home ownership in the Latino community. And you can see in the year 2021, that came out to just over 7%, whereas for the rest of the US economy, it's just over 2%. So the Latino increase in home ownership is nearly 3 times what it is in the rest of the United States. And in 2013, when home ownership was on the decline in the United States, in the Latino community, it actually went up. Now, yeah, give that some applause, but it's even more compelling than that. I'm sorry, Kimberly, I got to do the data, okay? So what does that mean overall? And this is just staggering to me. Hispanic Americans, if they were a country, Hispanic Americans are the 3rd fastest growing economy in the world. Ahead of Italy, ahead of Japan, ahead of France, ahead of the United Kingdom, ahead of Germany, ahead of Canada, ahead of the United States of America. And I know you're absorbed and really interested in this, but this is my last slide, I'm sorry. What does that mean? It means that, again, if the Hispanic American community were a country, it would represent the 5th largest economy in the entire world, trailing only the United States, China, Japan, and Germany, and ahead of India, the United Kingdom, France, Italy, and Canada. That's what I mean when I say that the Hispanic community spirit is, yes, we can. And as Barack Obama used to say, yes, we did. No, yes, we did. Yes, we did. So thank you for staying with me through that. I think that's really some interesting data that I had never seen before. And I think it's really appropriate as we celebrate tonight the national theme, driving prosperity, progress, and power in the United States. Clearly, the Hispanic community is doing just that. Okay, we are now going to hear from some of the other elected officials that are here with me tonight. The first we're going to hear from is Celia Bino, who is going to tell you a little bit about the person that she's chosen to honor, and then we'll have that person come and speak and tell a little bit about their journey. And all the honorees tonight, I warned all the elected officials who had selected you that you were going to be asked to say a few words. So if they didn't share that message with you, I want you to know you've got about 5 minutes to get your whole speech together, okay? So, Legislator Bino, give Legislator Bino a big round of applause. She's feeling needy.
Good evening. I have the distinct pleasure to introduce to you my honoree, Leah D'Angelo Allen. I guess that didn't work out. Hold on. Leah is a dedicated philanthropist with interest in art, interior decorating, event planning, and more. Her contributions to the community have earned her numerous recognitions and honors, making her a respected figure and a source of inspiration. Leah is a mother of 4, a dynamic, nature empowering of other immigrants to have a voice. I call Leah a friend. I came to know Leah in 2016 when I was newly elected to the legislature. And I had a vision that we would take an opportunity to share some Christmas cheer with the young kids from the EOC. But my dream was falling short because I didn't have enough toys for all of the communities that I had committed to. And a good friend of mine who sits to my right at the legislature, Legislator DeRidgie Whitten, introduced me to Leah. She says, I have a friend who also has a dream to be able to impart some Christmas cheer to the young people of Westbury. And she is a business owner right here in Westbury. And so I said, where? And so she told me the florist, and I was very familiar with the florist. And I went and I met Leah. And right there, a relationship was forged. And we together were able to give children toys that year. We partnered with the Westbury Fire Department. They dressed up as Santa, and the police department came, and it was like a real big thing. And you could see on these kids' faces that we just really made their day. And so year after year, we continued that work. And then Leah came to me and she said, listen, I have a secondary dream. I want to do this. I want to continue to do this with you. But I want to do it in a way that's culturally competent. See, most of the kids at that school are Latino. And she realized that we were missing the mark, that we really should have been celebrating Three Kings Day. So we moved our celebration to Three Kings Day, and year after year, we continued that work. Leah is a dedicated professional and entrepreneur. And I'll tell you that during COVID, Leah served many of the families here, many that we know and love, that we have lost, by way of ensuring that although those services had to be private, that they had the most beautiful arrangements that you could imagine. I stopped in to visit Leah during that time, and she was really at wit's end, but she was pushing and pulling for the community here in Westbury. She was on the front lines as an essential business. And so Leah labors day in and day out in her florist and in her work community and in her home community of Glen Cove. She created her organization, and she has a sash on. Nobody can, listen, Maria and all the other honorees that we have here this evening, she came with her sash. I mean, where's your sash? I mean, Maria, you came with the whole school, but where's your sash? So, she created Committee Civico Argentino for the purpose of ensuring that every child that she can reach has a toy. She wants no child not to be able to celebrate. So she's coupled her philanthropy with her love for exercise, and many of her fundraisers includes some yoga and working out, and then we went to dancing, so I don't know what we're up to next, but Leah is a lady on the move, and I am really honored to call her a friend. Ladies and gentlemen, Leah D'Angelo Allen.
¿Cuánta gente habla español? Uy, ganaron los americanos. Okay, so I'm gonna do mostly in English then. I just wanted to see if I should translate everything or not. Okay, so first than anything, I do consider Celia a friend. I always love to watch God doing his work and just kind of putting the right people together. And I'm almost 52 years old, and one thing that you learn as you grow old is that you get rid of the people that are not good for you. And you just continue to collect the amazing people that God puts in your path for some special reason. Some of them stay for a season, but they all have a reason. And when I met Celia, because of what she said about the toys, I am somebody who loves their birthday. And I celebrate my own birthday, I make my own cake, I throw my own party. I mean, I'm just like one of those crazy people that doesn't mind telling how old they are. And it was my 44th birthday, and somebody said, "What do you want for your birthday?" I'm like, "I don't need anything by the grace of God. So just bring toys." And this is how it began. And it was 100 toys the first year, and then 300 toys, and then 500 toys, and the most we've collected on my birthday was 900 toys. And we started, thank you. We started with a small donation for King's Day, and then it just grew where I can donate toys for her and also for Círculo de la Hispanidad with Gil Bernardino in Hempstead. And last year with the Family and Child, I can't remember the name, Family and Children from the North Shore. Now we also provided toys to the family court. So for all these kids that are in the judicial time where the parents are misfits, grandparents may not be around, and these poor children don't even get a toy for the holidays or for the birthday. So now we are providing toys directly to these kids. So it grew, and I am very happy, and maybe one day I can say we collected hundred thousands of toys. But for now, each child is a soul that you could put a smile on their face. And each child you could make a difference. So once I opened this organization, I said, well, it just seems like it can keep growing. So we went from getting the toys, then the COVID started, we started feeding families in need. I had the van from my business, so I was making deliveries to different families, all the way from Jamaica and to the North Shore, to out east in Shirley, and we'd really moved around. Now, I know that a lot of people did food for COVID, but I don't know you guys, but the only thing that I eat out of a can are black beans. I don't know you. So I was like, if I'm gonna do this, I wanna do food. I wanna go and get groceries, and chicken and meat and tomatoes and lettuce, and then the people needed diapers. People needed baby food. People needed, I mean, it was just, the need was so large that a couple of cans weren't gonna cut it. So we pretty much went shopping. I allocated $100 per family. We went shopping, and then we delivered the food to the family. Because, I had the van from the business, and I was running around making deliveries for flowers and funerals. So I said, you know what, we might as well stick a couple more deliveries on the van and just make these people's lives better. Because a lot of these people don't have a car. Mass transportation was a nightmare at the beginning of COVID. And even if you could take mass transportation, you could get sick. So a lot of people didn't want to get out of the house. So by the grace of God, all this grew. We went through the pandemic. I sustained my business through the pandemic. I'm still in debt, but, it is what it is. But we always put the money aside for the families. And once we opened, thank you. And now, then we started doing the yearly gala, and the gala is the fundraising tool that we do once a year to take care of the whole following year. So we do the gala in December, because that's when my birthday is. My birthday is December 18th, so it's usually around there. And then we collect the money on that one night for the whole year ahead in Argentina. Now, Argentina, as you know, is a South American country led by very poor government. So unfortunately, our peso, our money, has no value compared to the United States dollars. So when I send $1,000 to Argentina, it's like sending 800,000 pesos. So we could do a lot with very little. With $1,000 here, we cannot do too much, but over there we can. So yes, we can. So what we started doing now, our bathrooms, these people are so poor in the northern part of Argentina that we started making bathrooms for paraplegic and quadriplegic children. If you see, Thank you. If you see the pictures of a quadriplegic child in a beach chair, no wheels, just on a wheelchair, on a chair with no support for her neck, her arms, nothing. This poor child, every time you see her, she's more and more crooked. She's just becoming more part of the chair. So now we finally got her a used chair, but then the mother, how do you do it? I mean, what do you do with the child? Okay, you put her in the chair or you put her on the floor and then you wash her with a hose because you don't have a waterproof chair in the shower, you don't have a wheelchair, and then you don't have a lift to pick her up from one and put her on the other chair safely. So the poverty is so big that it's so sad to see the things that these poor people have to do with their loving children. And it's hard enough to have a special child or to have, whatever kind of a special child. But imagine having a child that cannot even move and you can't even afford a wheelchair. So by the grace of God, all this has been happening and all the doors have been opening and all the yes, we can dreams are coming to fruition from saying, oh my God, I can do this. All right, I'm gonna do it. I don't have enough money. It's okay, we're gonna start, we're gonna do it, we're gonna fundraise, and we're gonna make it happen. So those are the things that I do when I have nothing else to do after I work 70 hours at the flower shop, and I do have 4 kids, and I have 2 grandchildren. And somebody told me once, when you want something done, ask somebody who's busy. Because lazy people will always be lazy. But if you are somebody that is on the go and you want to get things done, you just do it. You just roll up your sleeves and do it. Because sometimes you're the only one. And just like the Bible says, who do you want this to? And God will point and be like, you go do it. You do the work. You get up, you go do the shopping, you make the delivery, whatever you have to do. If you really want something done, do it. And then everything else will come after that. So I love my flower shop, and I love doing flowers, and with that I pay the bills. But then I have my heart that says, no matter how little I have, even if I'm broke, because sometimes I literally send the last $5 that I have on my bank account to do something, I'm still happy because I'm healthy, my children are healthy. I have so much to be thankful to God. And my organization is based on the Bible, on Matthew 25:35. When I was hungry, you fed me. When I was thirsty, you gave me water. When I was cold, you clothed me. So with that in mind, no matter what you're lacking, always know that God is in control. And you can do it. Thank you.
And let me also say that Leah makes some pretty doggone good floral arrangements also. So that's where my family goes when we need to send a floral arrangement. Thank you so much for what you do, Leah. Did she buy any flowers? Okay. All right, great. Okay. Thank you. Next is my honoree, and some people don't leave home without their American Express card. Maria Santiago doesn't leave home without her entourage. I'm getting hand signals here because that wasn't your name up there, right? Now that's your name. So I think Maria may get the loudest round of applause for all, and I'm glad you don't live in Westbury where you might run and beat me. But she's excited too, I guess. I'm not sure what that was. So Maria is an immigrant from Trinidad. And Maria spent a good time being raised by her grandparents, which had a profound impact on her life and what she does today, which is to run a home health care aid training institute where she is giving the people that you see lining up behind her an opportunity for a vocation and also an opportunity to help, for the most part, our older citizens of this country. And a lot of that comes from Maria's upbringing, being raised by senior citizens herself and wanting to give back. She now is on her own, a full-service caregiver to our senior population. I'm going to need your service. In fact, I could use your services right now, having reached that age. Yeah, 51, I know, Celia, right? But her story begins with her being a home health care aide and then working her way up to be a trainee and then a director and then finally the owner of the business. So that's a real acknowledgement of that spirit that yes, we can. And as I said earlier, that most of our honorees have the spirit of philanthropy also, and the same goes for Maria. And when I spoke to her earlier today, she didn't really talk a lot about her business, but she talked about what she does. I'm not sure if it's your free time, but in whatever time she has. And that's giving toys, food to people and to young people, and I guess older people as well, in Trinidad and Africa and other countries of the world. And during COVID, she didn't give cans of food either, Leah. She raised money and $100,000 for essential workers in the way of scholarships and life insurance policies. Let's give a big round of applause to my honoree, Maria Santiago.
Gracias a Dios para todo. Good evening, everyone. It is indeed an honor to stand here in a Yes We Can center. Yes We Can means a lot because, like Mr. Robert Trainer said, I came from being a home health aide myself. In 1988, when I first came to America, I came to America not knowing anyone. I am from Trinidad and Tobago. My father is of Venezuelan descent, and I grew up with my great-grandparents. And one day I looked at my great-grandmother and I said, Mama, I'm going to the United States. And she looked at me. She spoke French and Spanish because her heritage was from France. And I'm just mixed blood with French and Spanish. And she said, where are you going? I have everything here for you. I said, but I know everything about Trinidad. I heard about America and I want to go. I want to join the army. I want to do something else. And she lifted up the mattress and she showed me all the money that she had saved under the mattress. And in Trinidad, $100 bills are blue. I have to tell you, the entire under the mattress was blue. And she said, here's my jewelry. I left the house for you. I left everything for you. Why would you leave? I said, I just feel that there's something else that I need to do. And I went to the United States Embassy. I got my visa on the first try. And having been a child, an only child in the village of Pity Valley, I would go to the neighbors on Saturday evenings when everyone went for communion. I would be Miss Beryl's daughter that would go to sit with the seniors while they went for communion on Saturday evenings. So I would sit, I would talk with them, I would give them pudding, I would read the sad comic books for them. And so I became the girl that went from one neighbor to the other to take care of the seniors in our town. And so when I came here, I've had 4 jobs. I worked at the supermarket on 125th Street. I volunteered at Lincoln Center. I sold Avon products, and I worked in the night at Texas Fried Chicken on Tremont Avenue while I went to Hostos Community College. I graduated as a home health aide, became a coordinator, became an administrator of home care, discharged many people from the nursing homes and hospitals. I always wanted to see people in their homes, not in a nursing home. I always felt that being in your home, you can have the comfort of caring and sharing and living more life for your family. And so I met a social worker and we had a plan. We were going to discharge everyone at one of the Far Rockaway nursing homes because people were just crying to go home. And we decided, okay, let's see if we can get home health aides to go home with them and we will safely discharge. So I would go to the homes, I'll make sure there was a safety in progress. I would work with Adult Protective Services, we'll work with the discharge planner and the doctors, and we would discharge. And we discharged so many people. While I was doing that, I recognized that home health aides were doing their jobs, but they weren't trained properly. They weren't handling the patients correctly. They weren't speaking to them properly. They weren't feeding them properly. And I decided to have the big dream of training school. And here is some of my products. Tonight, I am honored to stand here, but more than anything else, it's not me, it's us. Thank you to everyone that's standing here with me. Thank you, Mr. Triano and the entire team. Thank you, Jenna. Thank you to the executive board and the council heads. Thank you, Ms. Bino, for having a wonderful place such as Westbury so we could prosper and power, because that's the plan, to prosper, to empower, to make the community better, to make the state better, for us to look empowered, feel empowered, and deliver empowerment. Thank you, sir, for coming. Thank you, all my home health aides, for being here. To my teachers, Ms. Marbella Acevedo, she's been a registered nurse for a long time. She takes her time out from her 2 jobs to come and teach. And of course, Ms. Carvel, also a nurse. Our students are educated by registered nurses, and they take their time to come and share that love and that care. We also have in our presence Jovia Financial Bank, Ms. Digna, that's empowering them to understand how to save, how to buy a home, how to get a car, how to take out insurances. So we're not just staying at the bottom, like Mr. Triano said, we're rising to the occasion. That's it. Thank God.
Thank you so much for the music. The music really makes the celebration. So how about another hand for this fabulous band? So good evening. I'm Town Supervisor Jen DeSena. Unfortunately, my honoree could not make it tonight. When given the choice of coming here and taking a picture with me or going to an event at his church, he chose to go to his church. So I will be bringing the certificate to him tomorrow and congratulating him, and he's very grateful. And really, I mean, that is what tonight is about, is gratitude for the success that we've had, for the freedoms that we have in this country, and as our last speakers have said, gratitude for what their families gave them, and feeding the poor and helping quadriplegic children is just mind-blowing. So thank you. I'm very humbled by hearing what you do. And Maria, teaching people to take care of our family members in their home, that my father is a beneficiary of home health care. And so I thank you for teaching your students. I thank all the students for the great care that you give to your patients. So my honoree is Alberto Fuentes. He was born in El Salvador, and he came to the United States in 1991 at the age of 15. He's worked very hard, and in 2009, he started his own business called Albert's Landscaping and Tree Service in Albertson in the town of North Hempstead. And he has worked so hard and been so successful that he now employs 12 people. Yes. His philosophy is to build a relationship of trust, long-term trust with his customers. And no matter how small the job, whether it is mowing the lawn or creating a beautiful outdoor space at an apartment complex, at a business, it's about finding a solution and working so that we create beautiful outdoor space that we can share together and appreciate our life. He brings outdoor space up to date with exciting plant recommendations, unique design ideas, and functional infrastructure that complements our home and our work. So I want to thank everybody for putting together this program tonight, and God bless you all and continue to have wonderful success. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Dennis. And first of all, I want to thank you for inviting me here to your event. I'm a councilman. I represent Mineola, Garden City Park, New Hyde Park, Williston Park, and I'm always happy to come here. And I can tell you that in one of my careers, for 30 years, I was in the trades. I had my own painting business, tape and spackle, hanging sheetrock, and every single trade has a Spanish guy working with them. Every trade. If you're a plumber, an electrician, a painter, a carpenter, framers, landscapers, and the hospitals. And I truly believe that this country would not be moving forward if it was not for Spanish laborers. And I don't need to have all the statistics that Robert had because I was in the trades and I saw it every day. As a matter of fact, sometimes I started eating comida Hispania instead of a sandwich and everything else. So, that's what makes the country run. I want to speak about the nominee tonight, Mark Estrella. Mark started his own restaurant in Mineola, and at the time I happened to be on the village board. So Mark came before us and presented his application to open up a restaurant. And quite often when you open up a restaurant or any business, they have an expediter or an attorney or an architect or traffic impact study experts and the whole thing. Well, Mark was the whole gang. Mark, I swear, Mark presented himself terrific. And you know, so many times I sat in so many hearings where I see small businesses open up like restaurants or gyms, and I just sit there and I feel sorry for these people because I know they're not going to make it. It's so difficult to run a business, open up a business, and to keep it operating. And Mark had the misfortune of opening up right before COVID. And another problem Mark had was, like everything in the world, it took him forever to get a liquor license. I don't want to say anything about the state liquor authority dragging their feet, but I mean, everybody seems to drag their feet and try to operate a restaurant when people can bring in their own wine. You know, you don't make much money that way, but Mark persevered through all that, and he worked right through the entire pandemic, kept his work is working, and the guy is really a dedicated person. I think his parents right now are running the restaurant. I'm not sure. His parents are there running the restaurant. So I won't say anymore. I'll leave it up to Mark to explain himself. This guy is a great guy, and I'm very, very proud to have Mark represent him.
How you doing, everybody? So let me start. Myself, I have 2 kids. They go to school in Mineola. My wife is a school teacher in Regal Park. I moved to Mineola, I believe, in 2016. My parents actually. Let me start from the beginning. My father and his brothers moved to California. They came from Peru. There, the family started. They were young. They were going to school, and they started a restaurant over there in California. Then, my dad and his brothers were older. They moved to Queens. They went to Newtown High School, and later on, my dad met my mom. They lived in Manhattan. I was born in '75. Then later on, my grandmother and with her sons, my dad and all his brothers, they put their money together. They opened up the first Peruvian restaurant in Jackson Heights. And that was in the '70s. So I was always hanging out there, you know, because when you're starting a new business, you know, your kids are there with you, you know. So I was always hanging out in the restaurant, doing whatever, you know, peeling potatoes, cutting whatever, you know, keeping busy, helping out. So, you know, as you're young, you see this, so you kind of, you know, you get inspired to help your parents. You know, and I think we kind of lack that now, the generation. I think that's something that needs to come back, you know, to inspire kids to do more, you know. So with that, later on, I worked as I was older. I worked in the restaurant business with them, and later on, I opened up my own place in Kew Gardens on Queens Boulevard, and I was there for about 10 years. And but I had somebody else. I took over somebody else's lease. So at the end of that lease, I couldn't maintain the place there. So after that, I was just looking for another place, and I started looking around Long Island, and I found the place in Manhasset. And I was in Manhasset for a few years, and then that place, they sold the property over there in Manhasset. So then I kept looking, and I found a place in Mineola, where I am now. In Mineola, I've been there for a few years now. We opened up before the pandemic. We've always helped. Donated to the homeless. We always helped everybody out. I mean, it's you know, it's been rough, you know, before when COVID started, it was very up and down. You know, it was a struggle. Made it hard for everyone. I'm sure everyone who had a business. Yeah, I mean, you stay strong. You know, you believe in what you do. You keep working at it. You know, you hope for the best. You know, there are times that it gets really tough, and you don't know what you're gonna do the next day. You know, but you stay strong. You know, and I think as Latinos we have that fire, that fight, and you know, in us to keep going. You know? But yeah, so I mean, this was totally, you know, caught me off guard. I didn't know that I was gonna be here, you know, until, you know. But I would have, you know, put something together to talk. But just trying to, you know, just remember, trying to go through everything.
Great.
But yeah, I mean, it's an honor to be here. And Dennis, I met Dennis actually when we first opened up. He would come with his wife, and we just started talking, and then every once in a while I would run into him, you know. And then Kay came to the restaurant, and she said, "Oh, Dennis wants you to come to this event." Yeah, so I was like, "All right, thank you." So, thank you, everybody.
And just to give you a little information, his restaurant is on Jericho Turnpike, right opposite. Hold on, Marianne. His restaurant is on Jericho Turnpike, right opposite the brand new firehouse that was built in Mineola. So you can't miss it.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. So my name is Marianne Del Monte, and I am the Town of North Hempstead Councilwoman for District 6. So for 365 days, I have been waiting to honor this person. At the last Hispanic Heritage Month, the next day, I knew who I was honoring. It gives me such great joy to honor him. He has done so much for our community. And then I get an email from Robert Traiano. We're going to honor businesses. I said, oh no, oh no. I have my honoree, and I've had my honoree for 365 days. You are not doing that to me. And I called him because he was not returning my text messages or my phone, or my emails. So I called him. I said, Robert, I need to honor this person. He does have a business, but I'm honoring him not for his business. I'm honoring him because of his heart, because of an amazing person he is. He has done so much in Port Washington. We just hosted in Port Washington our second annual Fiesta in the Park. And that is because of a board that Joseph sits on, the Parent Resource Center. He also sits on the board of the Science Museum of Long Island. Thank you, Gina. And with the Port Washington, when I say he brings people together, he brought the Port Washington Public Library together, the Parent Resource Center together, Landmark on Main Street, and then this year, he brought me into the mix for the Town of North Hempstead, who were all sponsors for Fiesta in the Park in Port Washington. It had over 700 people there. It was amazing. It was a beautiful day. I learn, each year I go, they go to a booth with the library, they pick up a passport, and then they go and they visit each individual country, and you learn about that country. It is, next year we will send, if you're signed up for my newsletter, you'll know about it, but it is beyond an amazing event. And Joseph, I've waited 365 days to honor you. And I am, with all my heart, I am so happy that you are here so I can honor you. And thank you for everything you do
for our community, for bringing the Hispanic heritage and celebration into Port Washington for everybody to see, for us to be a diverse community. And I truly, truly mean this. It means the world to me to honor you tonight. So please come up here.
Good evening. Thank you. First of all, I just want to thank Council Member Delamonte for those amazing words, very kind words, and of course the Town of North Hempstead and all the various officials for hosting this wonderful event. Very prestigious. I am truly blessed and so honored to be amongst you and the honorees. Thank you. Your stories, your continued work is amazing and something that, for me and my children, I have 2 young daughters and a boy on the way. Yes. This is, your stories and your journeys are something that we want to instill into our children and continue that with, the generation of children that, we work with or see or encounter and try to educate as part of just events like the Fiesta in the park. As everybody knows, my name is Joseph Delermy. I'm an attorney by profession, but I'm more so a resident of Port Washington. I was born in East Harlem, otherwise Spanish Harlem, El Barrio, particular 118 in Pleasant, in case anybody knows Rayos and Patsy. Maybe my cousin. But in kind of keeping with the spirit of yes, we can, and being in this amazing community center and venue that the community of Westbury should be very proud. Council member, you should be very proud of this amazing facility. I want to say I've certainly have the privilege of being one of the founders and organizers of the Fiesta in the Park that Councilwoman spoke so highly of. It is part of the Hispanic Heritage Month events, and it was she indicated a kind of unique private and public kind of collaboration and partnership between several of the prestigious organizations in our community. And so this past Sunday, which happened to be just one of the few pretty days that we've had in the last 2 months, and fingers crossed that we can kind of continue with our nice fall days. But we had a very beautiful day, and Port Washington was able to host over 700 attendees, the majority of them children, youth, at the Blumenfeld Family Park on Main Street in Port Washington. I do want to highlight on Main Street in Port Washington. The celebration was a success. We received a lot of feedback, and it really showed the importance and the diversity of the Latin American community and the spirit, and in turn helped promote diversity and inclusion. It exposed children from various backgrounds, white, Asian, Jewish, various backgrounds too, and their families, traditional dresses from Latin American countries, from authentic dance from Bolivia, and a Colombian cumbia presentation. So it was really promoted diversity and inclusion. So in particular, I wanted to thank, first of all, the incredible community of Port Washington, just opening their arms and allowing a celebration to happen. Town of North Hempstead as well, and the many individuals, behind the scene that allowed us to put together this amazing event. The partners and the collaborators that we've had. The Parent Resource Center, which I serve as a board member of, and the Port Washington Public Library that provided an amazing passport program, which was amazing. And the Landmark on Main Street, which is a not-for-profit performance theater, but also provided free of charge, the audio and the production tech in order for us to have an outdoor performance for the entire community to enjoy. And of course, the Town of North Hempstead and the Parks Department that was really an amazing collaborator this particular year to provide us more resources, insights on being able to host an event of this scale. Wanted to thank the committee organizers, which there were several, and the many volunteers that very much worked hard to produce an event like this. Of course, as with any event, there's sponsors, too numerous to name, but just very much appreciative of them, and they've already stated that they want to come back because they're so impressed. And then we've had over 15 community organizations that varied from the Science Museum of Long Island to Northwell Health's Talent Acquisition Department, the New York Department of State, as well as Assemblywoman Gina Salati, having tables either with activities, Latin-inspired activities, or information that could be provided to families or children about what their rights are, or just information that was so important that we take for granted, very much just being able to see on a day-to-day basis. So there was so much value in what every organization brought to the table. And certainly I want to last thank my wife and my children for just the patience and putting together an event, and very much the day in and day out of working on a fiesta in the park, which takes almost a year to really put together. And then when it's done, we're already planning for next year. So so I do appreciate that. I did want to mention this particular event because the proceeds of the fiesta in the park go back to the Parent Resource Stepping Stone program, which is a unique program under the PRC's outreach program, which provides developmentally appropriate early childhood classes and enriching experiences to economically eligible families and their children, basically from birth to age 5. And from the Port Washington community, as well as other communities outside of Port Washington. And these programs provide families with the opportunities to kind of deepen their bonds with their children and connect one another through meaningful programming. And the PRC is able to provide resources such as contacting somebody if they have an immigration problem. So many important resources that the PRC provides, but in Fiesta in the Park, being able to provide a link to the Stepping Stones program, children, and really the future. And in our only in our second year, so we have a long journey to go, very long journey, and we hope that this event has staying power. We intended to have staying power. But we were able to generate over $10,000 in sponsorships from various Town of North Hempstead businesses and individuals. So the actual cost itself was very much raised by the community for the community. And then finally, I would just welcome everyone in attendance to participate next year in next year's Fiesta in the Park, whether it's as an attendee enjoying another beautiful day, bringing your children to experience live music or activities, or as a sponsor, which there will be opportunities to provide your business visibility, or as a community organization and be a partner and help us continue to educate the children and make them feel good about the diversity and their experiences. So it is important that our children see the beauty of diversity and inclusion. And I think it's important that it's right in the middle of Main Street. So thank you again, and I appreciate it, and thank you so much, guys.
We have from District 4, Carlos Valencia. And Carlos could not be here tonight. Like so many small business owners who have a family and who have grandchildren, there are many, demands on your time. And especially somebody who owns a photography studio, you often have events in the evenings, and that's where Carlos is tonight, but I will bring him his certificate proclamation tomorrow. I chose Carlos because he's a fixture in downtown Great Neck. He owns a photography studio, High Tech Studios, and it's the to-go place for bar and bat mitzvahs, for weddings, for all sorts of special occasions, and Carlos actually took the photographs on many of my family occasions. He is a wonderful man, a fixture in the community, and his story really resonates to me. It resonates for me. Like so many Hispanic small business stories, it's one of flexibility, determination, an immigrant story. He came from Colombia in the 1980s. He reinvented himself, like so many people have to do when they come to this country. He joined in the photography studio. He began as a printer. Over time, because of his hard work and his dedication, he grew to promotion to general manager, and now he owns the business himself. So he is one of those statistics. Yes. He is a face to one of those statistics that Robert was telling us about earlier. So I wish that face was here, but he isn't. But we will send love his way. We will send thanks his way for being part of our community, for being part of what makes the town of North Hempstead so special.
My name is Carlos Valencia, owner of High Tech Studios in Great Neck. And I've been doing this type of business for over 35 years. When I was 19 and 20, I was in Colombia. I was studying there. I did my college in there. I finished computer engineer. While I was doing that, that's when I took my first steps into photography to be able to help me with college and everything. I started working for different photo labs there. Just in between, that was my job. And then I went to school, went to college, and that's what I was doing. And then back in 1980, late 80s, in 89, I decided to move to the United States to learn the language, to find a better job. And in the process, back in 1993, I met my wife. Actually 1990, and by 1993 we got married. We have 4 beautiful kids, 3 grandkids, and it's been a blessing, it's been wonderful. One of my kids recently got married, and they're also successful kids too. One to become a lawyer, and the other one is a computer science. I started high-tech photo back in 1993. When I started in high-tech photo, I started as a printer. And a few years down the road, I became the general manager for the 2 stores. I had about over 60 employees. And then from there, back in 2009, I purchased high-tech photo. And that's what I've been doing here in Great Neck for the past 14 years, being my own business. We've been challenging over the past few years, especially after the pandemic, but it's such a rewarding job because you get to deal with most of the customers. Back when we started, a slogan or motto, it was, we develop your trust in 1 hour. And now the new one that we have from ours is, we turn your visions into everlasting memories. And that's been the key to success in Great Neck or in our business, because customers allow us to go to their house and be able to photograph the kids even before they were born, for us to go and be prepared to take the pictures for either a pregnancy shoot or for birth or baby naming or any birthday parties. And in our business, we do photography, we do videography, we do event planning, and we also do other stuff to diversify and help us to maintain ourselves in business. We do some printing in different sources, different materials, photo paper, metal, acrylic, and we do also some custom framing, video transfers, and restorations. We do a lot of stuff to help the community. And the key to our success is because we have a store in here and we be able to help a customer one-on-one. And they love that. And that's the beauty. We can talk to them, they can call us, and then we want them to come to our store and be able to meet them and be able to help them and give them what they want. To me, I feel like they welcome me and they accept me in the community so well. They know me everywhere I go. They already call me by my name. They make me feel what part of the family, and they don't make me feel like I'm the photographer or on the event planner or on the videography. They know me by my name, and I be able to give to them beautiful memories that they can remember forever.
So, Carlos, when I read your bio, I was really struck me how your experience personifies the Hispanic experience of small business owners, especially those who are immigrants, right? You had to reinvent yourself. You started off as, I guess, like a copy?
A printer.
A printer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you move your way up until you become the owner, right?
Yes.
And that is just amazing. And now you're the owner of High Tech here. An establishment, a foundational establishment in the Great Neck downtown.
Mm-hmm.
We're very happy to have you here. We're very happy you survived COVID. And at the Town of North Hempstead, we give proclamations to special people.
Thank you, I appreciate
People
it.
who contribute to our community. You contribute to our community. High Tech contributes to our community. And so I would like to announce that this day is declared a day of special recognition throughout the Town of North Hempstead for High Tech Studios in honor of Hispanic Heritage Month.
Veronica, I want to thank you for this award, or for this proclamation. It was something special for me and really meaningful. Being in this town, for me, it is just not only help me with my family, raise my family and support my family, but I feel they also are my family because working with them, they allow me to welcome into their homes and be able to preserve those memories for them.
Yeah.
And it's been beautiful, and I will continue doing this until God provide me with health and to be here.
Hopefully for a very long time.
Hopefully, that's what my goal is.
Yes,
my goal is to be working until I can.
Okay, that concludes tonight's celebration. I want to thank all of you for coming. And congratulations to all the honorees. See you all next year. Thank you very much.